This is going to be a quick little tutorial. I just want to show to figure out a way if you want something to load in. It looks like it's loading in when you refresh a page. So like at the moment it's very static, not like there's not a lot of movement going on. It always looks cool when you get onto a site and something moves automatically, or something like fades in, something like loads in, get that effect on it. I'm quickly going to make a tutorial to show you guys how to do that. Firstly, I'll just go through some of the code with you. We have our normal HTML setup, the boilerplate, and then there's the style sheet that's linked here. We have some attributes in there as well. Firstly, we have a body tag inside. There's a header. Inside the header, we have the landing page, which is now this, and then inside that we have the two images. One is the sunset background, and then the other one is the since the beginning text. And below that, we just close the div and the header, and then inside the body tag still, we have our scripts. So we are calling on the GSAP script, which is linked in my JavaScript folder. If you do not have this specifically, you can also link it online by going to their website. You can go to their main page if it loads. Just give it some time, and then while this loads, I'll just keep going. Inside this script, we also have our JavaScript main, our main JavaScript file that we use to call on any JavaScript we want to use. And then we have the animation GSAP as well, which helps with making things smoother and like using different transitions, and like using if you use different eases, that also like helps for it. Like this, a lot of them are defined in here. I'm not sure actually what's going on with the page in the background, so let's just close that. I don't think it's going to load. Internet's just been giving me trouble. Anyway, it is a very simple animation thing that is going to happen. I'll just go through the CSS as well. We have our landing page. It's defined. It has a position of relative, height and width of 100 viewport height and width. And then our first image, which is the background, has a position of absolute because we want it to be on top of the landing page. It could also be relative. It doesn't matter in this case. And then in a height and width of 100 each of viewport height and viewport width. Then our smaller image, which is the Minecraft since the beginning image, has a width of 50 viewport heights. It is centered with left, top, and transform translate, and that is it. It's very simple. It's very it's not a lot going on. So firstly, what we are going to do is we are going to just call on GSAP, which we then say GSAP dot. We don't want the web sampler to come up, so if that does, try it again and then just click somewhere. Try not to make it autocomplete, otherwise you won't be able to just select GSAP. For some reason that happens. And then we're going to go dot from, because we are calling from. I'll show you afterwards what it means if you go to, or from and to. These are the two different ones that you can use. And then we are going to open brackets, and then in parentheses we put in the attributes we are calling upon. In this case, we are calling on image2, and that is an ID. So you can use a class as well, but in my instance I'm using an ID, so img2. Cool, that's all. And then after that we use a comma because we want to add some more attributes. We then open the curly brackets because that means we are inside these curly brackets is what is going to be applied onto image 2. Press enter just to drop it down. So we want it to fade in. So we want opacity to go from 0. So we're going to set that on 0 and then just comma, next line. We want the duration to be about 2 seconds, so we can just do duration and then set it to 2. And then another thing we want is we want it to move up. So then to do that, you would enter y minus, or you would first say y and then colon, and then minus, let's do 100. So it might be too much, but we can always change it. And then the next line we are going to add an ease. And for the ease, GSAP has a bunch of cool built-in eases, which they are like special to GSAP. So all you have to do is also add your colon, and then in parentheses you can add power ease, power.ease, yeah, in and out in camel case. Using the camel case just like makes it identify where the words are separated, if you didn't know that. And I think that's about it. We don't need to add a comma to this last one. It's not really needed. All we do is save this, and we can go back to our page. If we refresh it, you see it gets a really cool fade in from the top. If we want to change this, you can always say you wanted to go in the opposite direction, which you then would use 2, so it would fade upwards like that, and then fade out, because that's what you are calling on, like it in reverse pretty much. So we don't want that to happen, so we want to do from, and say we don't want it to come from the top, we could just say Y100 as well. If we want it to come from the bottom upwards, and we can play around with things like duration and the amount it comes in, so we can say 200, and then it'll come in even further, and then you can even change the time, the duration, which is, we can turn it to 4, then it takes about 4 seconds. 1 2 3 4. Cool. Yeah, so you can play around with this as much as you want, but this is a very simple and easy way just to get a cool animation in your first landing page if you want to use it to bring some effect and some attention to the viewer, just like very quickly. It looks cool and it's very clean and everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this was helpful. And if there is anything that you don't understand, just let me know. Cool.